Hi guys, how's it going? I thought I'd make a video without my glasses on for a change. They're here, next to me. I can't really see the camera. But I think I might potentially look better without my glasses on. So I'm just gonna try that and see what happens. Right, how time passes. We are now on month 11 on T, which is around the corner from the first year. So it definitely feels like time's just flown. It's good. Right, let's dive straight in. I've just realized again, there's not so much physical stuff. This is sprouting and this is popping up and whatever. It's just becoming more social stuff and experiences and thought. A lot of it is very internal and immaterial, right, at this stage, even though, of course, the physical is still very much a thing. So, probably one of the main things of this month, I think last month or the previous month, it was about deciding to apply to do egg freezing through my GP. I'd done that, and this month I found out whether I got the funding, and I did, which is great, because some people don't, and some GPs don't give a shit, and it's just now becoming more a thing that trans people undergoing treatment that's going to potentially affect their fertility should be entitled to the same funding for preserving their gametes or whatever as anyone else that's undergoing treatment that impacts their fertility. That's great. Of course, that means I have to do it. It's probably not that much of a big deal because technically it's just the first part of what would be the whole IVF procedure, but obviously without making an embryo, without trying to get pregnant, without being pregnant. So it's kind of a minor part of it, but it is a big deal for me because I'm forced to think about this way before I would consider actually having children. So I feel like I'm just having to go through all of these thoughts ahead of time. And of course, going off T, the involved procedure itself is only about 2 weeks, but you have to time it right, and the lead up to it where you kind of see where you're at on a given date, and then I'm not sure about this because I haven't had my first appointment yet, but I may or may not need to take downregulation hormones to create a new start of the period, basically. It's kind of like, calibrating the cycle. I don't know whether that will be necessary. And then wait for it to happen to then start counting, anyway. So I look forward to it, and I will, the next month and then a month after that might be a very interesting update on what that was actually like. A mix of completely terrified, not the procedure itself, but also the process of, hi, I am Mr. Let's talk about vagina, uterus, eggs, ovaries, you know what I mean? And potentially getting transphobic vibes of people, that really is more uncomfortable than the procedure itself. Another thing is, at this point, 11 months on T, my period that I have been getting has become a lot lighter, but it's still, relatively regular, and it still goes on for up to 4 days still. Great for sort of thinking about this whole hormonal procedure of egg collection. Not great for obviously dysphoria and whatnot. So it's kind of a mixed bag of feelings about that. And the last thing really is the perception of transitioning and the kind of double standards that exist between trans people and cis people for doing certain things to themselves that are often the exact same thing, you know, and I have some examples. So in terms of hormone related things, you know, the concept of taking hormones, the concept of changing hormones, the concept of not having hormones, is seen in trans people as some sort of crazy, drastic self-harm in terms of potential side effects and fucking yourself up, and why would you want to hurt yourself, you know? But isn't that, you know, in some way the same train of thought as anyone who is taking the pill, is taking contraceptives, is going on HRT for other reasons, or indeed not going on HRT? A lot of women who reach the menopause and have no more estrogen go through potentially horrible symptoms and side effects. My grandma was talking about how for 15 years she had night sweats, and it was just something she lived with. So because it happens naturally, we don't think it's a problem. Like, oh, old women should just suffer through the menopause because that's just natural. And younger women should just put up with the side effects of contraceptives, hormonal contraceptives, because that's just the price you have to pay if you want to have protected sex, or whatever, you know. The same negative side effects and the same tinkering with yourself and your hormones or whatever is judged differently in different people. Another thing is obviously surgery, you know. Another thing where, oh, if trans people do it, it's this crazy, dramatic, drastic, crazy thing, you know. But, you know, if a woman gets a boob job, it's great, good for her, you know. She's got some spare money, or she's empowered, or she's in control of her body, and, you know. Whereas for trans people, it's like, oh, what you do to your body, whatever you do to your body is fake, or your boobs are not real, or whatever part of your body is not real, or it doesn't count, you know. And for cis people, it does, you know. If you have a boob job, your boobs are bigger, you know. No one acts as though they don't count, or they're not real boobs, you know. And it's the exact same procedure, right? Cis people are empowered and modern for doing stuff to their body to feel better about it, or whatever reason, but trans people are like, ooh, not allowed, you know, or hurting themselves, or they're crazy, you know, for the exact same procedure. Another thing is more superficial sort of prosthetics or clothes or things like that, where, you know, cis women wearing padded bras is some sort of everyday mundane thing. No one goes around saying, oh, you're trying to deceive people with your non-existent boobs that are just fake big, but they're not really that big. Whereas for trans people, oh, God forbid you have something on you that is fake, you know. Whereas for cis people, it's perfectly normal, right? Of course, you're just going to do whatever you're going to do to make yourself look however you want to look. But for cis people, it's empowered, but for trans people, it's trying to deceive someone, or fake, or doesn't count, you know. So those are the kind of double standards that exist, that I've noticed. And I think that wraps it up. I don't want to make these videos super long. I'm going to put my glasses back on just because I literally can't really see much. Yeah, looking forward to the next month, which is going to be the year on T. To be fair, there have been other things in terms of trying to do fingerprint tests to test T. Didn't go very well. Not sure why. Another thing about the GIC using a certain range for T that is narrower than the actual male range, and whether it makes a difference. I'm probably going to talk about that later, maybe. Anyway, that's it. Okay, bye. Woohoo! Bye. Talk too much.